From now on, if you hate, I'ma snatch your queen. I'm telling you right now. I'ma snatch your queen. And once she goes King Kong, she ain't never coming back. I'm snatching haters' queens.
Not straight up. Wait a minute.
To all sisters, if your man, your baby daddy, your fiance, your husband, if he is a Dr. Umar hater, pull up on me. Slide into my inbox one time. I'm going to take all of her peach cobbler. Play with me. I'm taking all the honey out the honeycomb hideout. I'm taking every cookie she got.
Taking all that.
The sugar box will belong to Big Papa.
Well, we tear our people down
publicly
before
the world. Nobody else.
He ain't even been to trial. And it's a documentary out talking about.
We ain't even see no evidence.
Surviving Diddy.
Yeah,
and it's
we ain't even
like,
see no evidence.
That really bothers me.
What about the documents that keep claiming, that keep popping out?
On Diddy?
Yeah.
They got documents popping out?
They keep popping out with random ass documents that keep popping out.
About what?
What he's done to Cassie, what he's done to
what he done for Cassie.
Shit regarding the case.
Unacceptable. She got $30 million for that.
And was quiet.
Never said a word about it. Was with him on the award show red carpet 2 days after that. Never reported him to the police. You understand? It ain't acceptable. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the victim ain't got nothing to say about it. She off with her snow puppy, spending Puffy's 30 mil. She straight. And my thing to black people, can we stop being hypocrites? Man. Black women have the highest domestic abuse rate in America. If what happened to Cassie disturbed you so much, what are you doing about everyday domestic violence against black women in our community? Not right a damn thing. You want Puffy to burn for Cassie, but you don't want your brother to burn for all the women he done slapped up. You don't want your father to burn for slapping up your mother. You don't want your grandfather to burn for slapping up your grandfather. We have an issue of selective morality in the black community, which is nothing more than 21st century hypocrisy. How can you want justice in this situation, but I don't want justice in these situations? Look at all the black people saying they're going to vote for Donald Trump when he was found liable in a court of law to have raped that woman. So if you are against rape of women, abuse of women, you want Diddy to burn, but you're going to vote Donald Trump into office. Look at the contradiction. If Diddy should burn for slapping up a woman, shouldn't Donald Trump also burn for raping a woman? But no, we selectively moral. We're going to vote for Trump, but Diddy needs to burn. I don't listen to black people when it comes to moral conversation, because most of us are not ethical and principled enough to call a spade a spade. One of the reasons that Lady Justice is supposed to be blindfolded is because you're not only not supposed to be influenced by the race of a person, but you're not supposed to be influenced by the wealth of a person, the status of a person, or your relationship to that person. So yes, domestic violence, I don't support it. Diddy was wrong, and I don't have a problem with him being held accountable for that. But his federal indictment has nothing to do with Cassie situation that happened 7 years ago. 7 years ago. 7 years ago. He's indicted for what? Interstate prostitution, interstate sex trafficking, and racketeering. I can't speak to the racketeering because I'm not a member of Bad Boy, right? Right. Interstate sex trafficking, I'm having a hard time believing a billionaire has to steal people away into sex. Right. I believe a billionaire can pay people into sex. So no, I don't believe Sean Puffy Combs is guilty of sex trafficking. Do I believe he's guilty of paying people to engage in sex? Yeah, I think they might get him on a prostitution. Because prostitution is only legal in like one state in this country, but there's other states considering it. And let me tell you another reason why I think they had to bring Puffy down now. New York State is considering making prostitution legal. Think about this. The one charge that I feel he may be guilty of, the state that's prosecuting him is considering now making prostitution legal. So they got to convict Puffy now, right? Because what he's doing in a few months from now may not be a crime. It's like marijuana, right? Recreational marijuana. You in a city where you're being prosecuted for recreational marijuana, but your state legislature is considering making recreational marijuana legal. So if I want to destroy him, I got to destroy him before the government passes a law to make it legal. Diddy is going down to distract us from Kamala Harris because black people was all over her ass. Diddy is going down to distract us from the fact that they got them hurricanes going on, blowing on poor black people out of certain areas in Georgia and in Florida so they can get them lithium deposits to the elite corporations. Puffy is also going down to distract away from Marcellus Williams' execution, the lynching of our brother in Henderson, police genocide. Puffy is a distraction away from everything else that is going down. And then look at the new white guy who just got charged with sex assault. Garth Brooks, the king of country music, he just got accused of sex assault. But guess what? Nobody's talking about it. All eyes on Puffy.
Yep. He got a bar downtown.
Yeah.
He gonna stay flooding that bar.
On Puffy. Look at Vince.
That's Puffy's bigger.
Look at Vince.
Garth
Did you see
Brooks
the
is not
charges
that big.
against Vince
I mean, he's
McMahon?
big, but not big.
The owner of the WWE?
Yeah.
Damn. They said, she said he raped her, allegedly raped her, forced her to have sex, drugged her, doped her. He was, Puffy's allegations on steroids is Vince McMahon. Guess what? Vince McMahon never been arrested and detained.
That's crazy.
Puffy is a distraction. That doesn't mean we can't hold him accountable as a community. Principles are principles, right? But you still have to look at the political agenda. Two things can be true at the same time. I can hold Puffy accountable for what he did and still see that he's being used as a scapegoat so we don't focus on more important issues. Because what he's doing is everyday business in Hollywood. It's everyday business in Hollywood. So why is Puffy the only one? Same thing with the R. Kelly. We can hold him accountable. If he touched them girls, that's wrong. You got to suffer for that. You don't violate no child. Right. But guess what? Why isn't there a systemic attack on pedophilia? Why isn't there a systemic attack on sex trafficking? Why are you only going after individual black men instead of a whole system of which they're only a small part? Because I know you Negroes like to lynch each other. And I know if I hang Puffy out, if I hang Bill Cosby out, if I hang R. Kelly out, y'all will destroy them in such a way that by the time black people are done feasting on their own, we'll be able to do anything with them we want.
Yeah.
We know that we're going after R. Kelly because he don't want to sell us the masters. We know we're going after Bill Cosby because he don't want to let us drill for the oil. We know we're going after Sean Puffy Combs because he sued Diageo Liquor Company out of London. And less than 2 months after they was forced to settle with him out of court for an undisclosed amount, his house was raided. We know that Puffy was starting that Our Black Party, which could have been a problem by election day in November, so we had to silence him. That's another thing, y'all. The raids on Puffy took place strategically in March to make sure his voice could not be heard during his presidential election. Because when he did his last interview talking about Our Black Party, he spoke of how neither party was doing anything for black people. They could not afford Sean Puffy Combs to go public and endorse Dr. Umar's message.
Now, Doc, I've been coming across some clips here lately, man. I've been seeing you. Folks been making you get in your goon mode. And, I've been seeing some clips. it was one clip, they was talking about your haircut. You said, "Where's your wife?"
Where's your wife?
Well, let's see if your wife got something to say about my haircut.
From now on, if you hate, I'ma snatch your queen. I'm telling you right now, I'ma snatch your queen.
Yeah.
And once she goes King Kong, she ain't never coming back. I'm snatching haters' queens.
Wait a minute.
To all sisters, if your man, your baby daddy, your fiance, your husband, if he is a Dr. Umar hater, pull up on me. Slide into my inbox one time. I'm going to take all of her peach cobbler. Play with me. I'm taking all the honey out the honeycomb hideout. I'm taking every cookie she got.
Taking all that.
The sugar box will belong to Big Papa.
What they be saying to you, Doc? What they be saying to you to get in goon mode like that?
I don't know.
I'm still stuck. Wait a minute. Hold on.
I'm a
play.
Her sugar box.
Do you hear me?
Come on now.
So when you say no, okay. So when you say okay, your haters, why do you feel like that's okay to say?
What?
You gonna take their girls just because they hate them? Why do you feel like that's okay to say?
Because it is. War is war. And
no casualty war.
Okay,
no casualty to war.
And if you want to come at me Unprovoked, because now I don't pick with nobody.
I ain't asked for this.
Dr. Umar, I'm too busy to pick. I don't follow none of these coons. Okay. I don't watch their YouTube. I don't watch their content. I don't follow you. I'm just trying to build my school, help out parents without children, and push the Pan-African movement. That's it. I don't mess with nobody. You see? But my name keep coming out their mouth. So after all these years of being patient,
You done ran out of patience.
I ran out of patience.
I need your wife.
I need the queen.
I need your wife.
Rock her sugar box. I'm taking a women for now. I'm taking.
But what if no.
I'm taking a queen. What's the best way? What's the best way to crush?
Back outside.
But if
the hate
and
the ego of a YouTubian struggle streamer. Take his queen.
A struggle streamer.
That was a good
struggle
one.
streamer.
Okay,
is
no, I'm for real. Like, okay, let's
God.
just say you had somebody that was really interested in you and like they really wanted to date you, but you out here saying you gon' fuck other people bitches if you.
Not that language.
I mean, but it's the same thing. You're going to go out here and do these different things with these haters, women, I guess I should say.
Call the cops when you see Tupac.
But why?
Grab your Glocks when you see Tupac.
Oh my
shot
God.
me, but you punks
give
didn't
up.
finish.
I give up.
Rest in peace,
Hey,
Tupac.
The queen gonna have to understand it's war right now.
It's war now. It's war. They
It's
keep
war
coming
now.
for me. It's war. What better way to shut them up?
Came over here messing with me.
Or queen, speak up. Yeah, I mean.
That is true.
She not tripping about that haircut.
You know, I'm not really gonna touch their wife. You know,
I don't know that. I don't know you.
I might take them on a date. Take them on a date and
Take some pictures.
They gonna think she did something with them. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna crush them.
Rub her down and some. I'm gonna give her a massage. Out of respect for the queendom, I'm not gonna rock the sugar box, but I'm gonna give her a deep tissue, African shea butter, African coconut oil, African almond butter, avocado butter.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna give her the most sensual massage with these big black Nigerian, Cameroonian, Ghanaian hands, and I'm gonna massage her down.
Need that.
Oh.
All over her body. I'm gonna rub her over. I'm not gonna penetrate your queen. I'm just gonna massage her skin. And rub her down in some Ifatunde oils. And kiss her on the forehead and send her back home. That'd be worse than sex. She'll be thinking about me for the rest of her life.
That's what I'm
Black power! Black power! This is why I love the black woman. I struggle for the black woman. I will die for the black woman. I will not crush them cookies, because after all, you done been up in there. I don't know what you laid in there, but I'm just going to give her the massage. Black power. If your king is a hater, you get a free, private Dr. Umar massage. Your music, under the lights, no sex, but it will be sensual. Black power.
Black power.
Right,
Black power. Black power.
That's even better. That's even better. Because you attended to her in a way he don't, because he too busy worrying about Dr. Umar. I like that.
Said, look,
Look.
you gotta add me to pay. You gotta
In
add
other
me to
words,
payroll.
focus on your queen.
Right.
Focus on your queen.
Talking about me and my haircut.
Focus on your queen. Because I'm trying to understand how a black woman dates a man who's totally consumed with another man. You feel me?
And them not saying anything.
Like, how you...
I'm gonna
I
get
couldn't
this
date a
soft
woman.
girl.
If I'm dating a woman and she constantly hating on this one man, something's up.
Yeah, I'm like, what's up with you?
I gotta end this, because I'm supposed to be your focus, and you keep worrying about trying to tear this man down. Something wrong with these people.
I agree.
But you know what's funny? My top 4 struggle streamer haters, right? You know what they initials? One initial for each of them? LAME.
Lame
Lame
as
as fuck.
lame
Coons is lame as fuck.
lame as hell.
L-A-M-E.
Lame ass struggle streamers.
One initial L, one initial A, one initial M, and another initial E.
So
lame.
you just substituting the E for the F.
No, E. No, one of them is the E.
So F-fuck. So
Lame.
lame F-fuck. Cause there is no F. No, see, look at all y'all faces. Look.
He said L-A-M-E.
Right.
No. Listen, lame ass. So
Man, he
what
just
is it?
added this. Fuck.
Duh, that's what I'm trying to say, Harold. Damn.
Shit. You lost, I ain't gonna lie, you lost all of us. Hey, if she lost y'all, let us know.
I ain't lose y'all. Nah.
Bring it back.
Because they going to be looking the same way I'm looking.
But on the reals, though, when we open up the school, man, I'm really depending on my supporters and donors, and I want them to hear this. I'm really dependent on them to help secure the school from letting any of these haters come into the school. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Because once we open, they're going to act like they never hate it because they know I don't know all of them. I'm too busy. You feel me? So I'm really going to have to depend on our supporters and donors to say, Doc, him right there, that's one. Her over there, that's one. Because nothing will hurt my heart more than to let somebody who tried to stop the school benefit from it. You know what I mean? So I'm really going to need people to really zero in and expose some folks, man. Because when we had our block party, the FDMG festival, we did 2 of them.
Yeah.
2021, 2022. We had a couple of them haters come in. And I was bothered because I found out after the fact, some of my supporters knew that they was haters and didn't tell me. Why would you let them come and sit here and participate in this shit when you know they was trying to stop this? So I need us to take a little bit more ownership. I think too often, even when we support somebody, we still like to see fuckery on a certain level. You know what I mean? Like I support Doc, but I still want to see what might happen.
Yeah.
We ain't got time for that. Get serious about this. This is serious. You see a hater, expose them so we can throw them out by the neck.
Do you think that some people might have a certain type of feeling about you because they don't know you, but then they come around you to try to figure out who you are and then start to become a fan?
Yes. However, that's fine. That's the natural human process, right? But don't hate on me before you find out who I am. Do you follow what I'm saying? Be man enough or woman enough to reserve judgment. That's what I do. Yeah. You follow what I'm saying? I'm going to reserve judgment till I know you, but I'm not going to hate on you for years and then finally meet you and say, oh yeah, my bad, Doc. I didn't know. Nah, nigga, get out of here. Because this whole time you was riding with the hate. Now you want to try to make up for it. It's too late. Yeah. You done already done too much damage. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So be mature, exercise some discipline and some patience, and wait till you get to know. But with that being said, I mean, 90% of our people show me nothing but love and support. You know, it's only about 10% hate. Yeah. It's not that many of them, but they're so loud and consistent. You feel me? They're so loud and consistent that it looks like it's more of them than what it really is.
If you ain't got no haters, you ain't doing something right.
Absolutely.
Brother Malcolm. I'm a firm believer in that.
Brother Malcolm said that. No enemies if you ain't doing nothing right.
So, Doc, real quick. So we got this event next month. It's our first in-person event. It's going to be on the 9th.
Okay. Of November. Okay.
It's on the 9th. But the name of it, we're focusing on the soft girl era. Right?
On the
soft girl era.
Okay.
Right. It's just going to be us 3 on the panel. We're thinking about adding a guest or something like that. But I kind of want to, I know when relationship shit ain't something we really just dive into, but I got King Kong on the platform, so we're going to get into it.
Sure.
But I just kind of want to dive into the perspective a little bit, just the whole newer soft girl era and feminine and what it means
now,
to
what
be.
is, you said soft girl.
Soft girl era.
What is soft girl era?
So I'm going to let the sister define it. So, I mean, I can define it for what I think it is, but, and what is portrayed on social media, but I also don't want to give too much on this episode of what I'm kind of planning to do. Understood. But yeah, my definition is just basically a woman being able to relax into what is considered divine femininity, and that is also my definition of it.
Of soft girl. Of
soft girl era is essentially a woman being able to relax into a feminine and feel safe. Just to say it on the surface. Yeah. Okay. All right. And it's a whole thing now to where, like, our question basically at first was, is it up to a man to put a woman into a soft girl era? Right. That's basically what it was at first. But I'll let Jake kind of tell you what the girlies say.
Okay, so I actually saw this post on Instagram yesterday where it was like, a happy man is God's plan, or a happy wife is a happy life. And my take on becoming in my soft girl era is how my man handles situations, how he handles conflict, how he talks to me. I feel like I look at him when I choose a partner. I'm looking at how he leads me. I'm looking at how he is when it comes to emotionally, spiritually. Those are my main two things that I'm looking for first. Because if you can't lead me with blindfolded, at least, then like I don't feel like I can trust you, because I should be able to trust you blindfolded and think that you are going to make the correct decisions, as I should say. So when we talk about softcore era, it's more so looking at it as, I'm a firm believer is a happy man is God's plan, because that's who I'm looking at to lead this family and lead me to where I'm going. So we're trying to figure out, that was a debate with softcore era, and seeing like kind of what's your take on it as well. But I think Carol has something else too.
Really, because a lot of times when we ask this question, I hear women I say, what is soft girl era? And they start talking about what a man needs to be doing. All right, what are the characteristics of a soft girl who is in an era of wanting to be soft? Like, that's what I want to get into, and that's like, it's the reason why I kind of want to hit this, but I don't want to hit it, because it's one of the things I want to focus on when we do it. Like, what accountability is the woman taking into the healing and the process that it actually takes for a woman to become soft? Because I get that a lot of times, especially young adult women, you're in survival mode, you out of school, you paying bills, I get it, you feel me? But I want to understand, like, the fellas, I'm gonna say the fellas, right, want to understand, like, what does it look like for a woman to be soft? Like, not necessarily, like, because I feel like a man want to meet a woman and she's soft, not necessarily I meet you and you hard as hell and you got all these boundaries and all this other shit up there and then push me away, and then you want me to overperform to for you to become soft.
Mm-hmm. It's about how you come into a situation. Like, I understand. I get what you're saying completely, but it's also how you come into a situation. If you come into a situation trying to get to know me and who I am as a person, you care about what I have going on, like that's going to open up the doors for me to feel vulnerable to be able to talk to you because you care. It's like a sense of caring, in a sense. If you come into a situation where all you talk about is you, it's like, oh goddamn, like, when you gonna talk about me? Like, well, when
I'm asking
you care?
you to talk about you.
Yeah, no, that's
you
what I'm saying. But you have to create that. No, you have to create that space for me to be able to open up to you and be like, this is what I think. This is how I. Because if you come into a situation where you are completely concerned about not only just yourself, because we look at that too, but you're concerned about what another person has going on as well, that opens up the space for us to be vulnerable and want to talk to you and open up to you. So the question that you asked me, you keep saying, how does that revert back to a woman? Is how you come into a situation. Okay, right. For example, if you come in and you like, God damn, shorty, you fine as hell, to a certain woman that's gonna be like, well, you rude as fuck, versus you coming in and being like, you're so beautiful today, I just want to let you know that. That's going to make me soft to be like, okay, well, thank you, I appreciate it. Like, it depends on how you deliver whatever it is you're trying to deliver.
Yeah, I'm going to use your example, and then I'm going to give you it from a man's perspective and what we hear, right? So you're saying you meet somebody and how you approach them determines if they're soft. Like, yeah, I guess somebody got you fucked up, they got you fucked up. My rebuttal or my response may be, like, I may cater it, you know what I mean, based on that. Like, if you got me fucked up, you got me fucked up. But what I'm saying is, like, I can't tell a woman to, like, how you meet me and how you handle me on our encounter is going to determine how masculine I am. You feel me? Like, I can't gauge my meter of masculinity based on you, your boundaries, your acceptance to it. Like, none of that. I have to exemplify masculinity. Like, I feel like women want a masculine man. Like, so you find out, you understand what that is, and you develop and learn to become that. Women, I feel like when we ask what is a soft woman or what puts a woman into a softer era or an era where she feel like it's healing, potentially want to, again, be in the soft era, I don't hear anything about what the woman is doing to become soft. I just hear like, well, if he come at me right, I'm gonna be soft. I just don't believe that that's true.
I feel like that's true because I'm following I'm following the lead of my man. I'm a reflection of him, and if he's coming at me into I see what you're saying. I just feel I definitely get what you're saying. But I just feel like that a man is meant for leadership. The woman is the foundation.
We are. That's not taking away anything from his leadership.
It's not at all.
Yeah.
But it's still that I'm still coming. How you come at me is how I'm going to come at you. Granted, if you come at me, let's just say when my ex used to come at me all crazy, and I was very gentle still, even with him coming at me crazy, I'm not going to take that baggage into my next relationship because I'm going to see that next relationship for what it is and who that person is.
What you don't realize is you just said that you was responding soft on your own. It wasn't, the man was coming at you aggressive, out of pocket and all that, but you saying that you're responding soft. That ain't up to the nigga is what I'm saying. And what I want you to also understand, like, so what puts you in that place to where you don't respond with the same attitude, the same... Because
I've been through it so many times, and I don't fight fire with fire. It's not going...
That's up to your healing. You feel me? Your experiences, your healing and stuff like that is not up... Because, again, if it was up to the man, you would have matched his energy. That's what I want you to see. Okay? You just gave the example that I really wanted you to see. Like, he is coming at you with fire. You feel me? A woman who is in a softer era, she understands that, like, my power ain't meeting you with being masculine like that. My power is in, like, okay, I'm gonna make you feel like a damn fool, like, for real, because, all right, babe, you know what? You might be right. I don't think it's you right, you know, feel me? But I ain't finna go there with you. We'll talk about this a little bit later.
Sometimes you just be tired. Sometimes it comes in relationships, and before a woman leaves, a woman knows her breaking point, and a person becomes tired to where they're just not even finna. It don't get nowhere. Like it don't get nowhere. You yelling at me yelling at you. It don't get nowhere. I think when a person becomes to that point where it's just like they finally see that this is not going to work with us both going like this, then they'll just learn to balance it. But I think that comes with time, with being in a relationship with multiple people or whatever the case may be.
Talk. I want Dr. Then you're going to have a talk, yeah.
From my perspective, black men need to understand that the word accountability for black women is an emotional trigger. And the reason so many black women are triggered by the word accountability is because, at least when we look at the children, and in many respects, when we look at the community itself, they have been nothing but accountable since the government intensified its war against black men back in the 1970s. So you got the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, 2010, 2020. We're in our 6th decade. So for roughly 60 years, black women have been raising the greatest share of our children alone. They have been the ones at the front line of dealing with community violence, teenage pregnancy, homelessness. There are men involved, but most of the time when I'm being called out to do some volunteer work to deal with a community issue, from homelessness to violence to mental illness to the halfway houses for ex-offenders, more often than not, it's women running those organizations. And they have children at home. And they work in 2 and 3 jobs. So when black men say to black women, we need y'all to be accountable, they're triggered by that. Because in their mind, we have been nothing but accountable. We may not have been perfect in our accountability. The black on black crime in the community clearly shows that the absenteeism of the father is definitely an issue. But we can't blame women for the fact that the government is targeting our men.
Right.
Stated another way, too often I think we as black men are looking for submission, failing to realize that it has to be earned.
Yeah.
And also failing to realize that submission comes with conditions and responsibilities. A woman doesn't just submit to a man. She has to do so on the basis that you're going to be able to uphold your end of this bargain. I'm hearing men, because they message me, they text me, Doc, we hear you. But how are we ever going to be able to be men if she doesn't allow us to lead? And my answer to that, good brother, if you are leading the way you're supposed to, you won't have to ask her to submit. She will do it automatically because it is her nature to submit to her, to submit to you. The problem with black men is a lot of us are not strong enough emotionally, psychologically, spiritually. We're not strong enough to attract a woman's submission. Submission is a quality that all women have, but only certain men can unlock it. A woman is designed by nature. She cannot submit to weakness. And a lot of the men who are begging for submission is because you're not strong enough to unlock her submission. It's already in her. She didn't unlock it for you, but she will gladly unlock it for him because he's willing to be the accountability in her life. He's willing to be the responsibility in her life. Now, you're absolutely correct, Brother H, when you say that women shouldn't automatically be triggered by the way a man greets or engages her. But what she said helps explain why. What did she say? I've been through it over and over and over again. So now it's an automatic script in her mind, right? So she's basically reacting to you unconscious. This ain't even her conscious. This is a script. It's on autopilot. The minute you feel me, she bop.
Got an operator.
And the reason, and I'm gonna go here.
Yeah.
Y'all were talking about who should lead in this. Who should lead in the quote unquote peacemaking operation of healing the wounds in that relationship? I'm going to say the man.
Of course.
I'm going to say the man because number one, that's part of what being a man is.
Yeah.
See, we can't have it both ways. On the one hand, you want to be the king and you want submission. On the one hand. On the other hand, you need her to meet you halfway. That's not kingly. The king is going to go all the way. So, and another reason why we got to lead, because too many of our women are too emotionally traumatized to meet us halfway. She can't afford, after everything she's been through, she can't afford to drop the guard again prematurely. Do you know what it takes a woman to get to a point to submit after all those disappointments? And then if you turn around and disappoint her again, guess how much longer it's going to take her to submit the next time? I don't think men understand the psychological resources that a black woman has to muster up amidst all her responsibilities to get to a point where she's willing to trust. Because trust can be dangerous for a woman who's already been multiply traumatized. So we need to understand, why is she acting like that? Why is she reacting like that? All I did was give a compliment. She looked at me like I was crazy. But my brother, don't react to that. She's not responding to you. She's responding to the script you're giving her. Because that same script is how she met her baby dad, who she thought was going to be the husband. And he only used and abused and manipulated her. She's not reacting to you. She's reacting to the situation. Black men cannot get involved in negative emotional exchange with our women. Nothing productive is going to come out of that because you're arguing with a woman who's in her unconscious right now. Her pain is coming out. Don't argue with the pain. Let her process it and help her understand it. Reflective listening. I don't care how off the hook she is. If I'm understanding you right, I disappointed you by not doing this. If I understand you right, you didn't appreciate the fact that I gave my baby mom a hug in front of you. If I'm understanding you right, make sure you allow her to process her pain. Black men don't do that. And part of the reason we don't do that is we're so caught up in our narcissism. We're so caught up in our narcissism that basically says that anything you do that I don't like is wrong, even if you needed to do it in order to process your experience. We can't do that. We are very narcissistic towards our women. We are very dismissive of their feelings. And here's another reason why black women are not so quick to give us the king treatment. We come and go too easily. We come and go out of their lives too easily. You can't expect women to open up their submission and be that vulnerable all the time when there's nothing obligating you to her except your honor if you have any, your chivalry if you have any, your masculinity if you have any. So we're asking for something that needs to be earned with no obligation, and after we get it, we won't disappear on her. I'm only saying that I understand why she is the way she is. Does she need to work on it? Of course. And the reason I need our sisters to work on that trauma, to work on those automatic scripts, is when a good man does come, I need you to not push him away. Because as I had one of my clients say to me in a therapy session, black woman, she said, Dr. Umar, I know I have a good man. He pays the bills, he take care of my kids, they're not even his. I know I got a good man. So why are you here? She said, because I was conditioned by my mother and my grandmother to never trust men, to never let them lead, to never give them power. She didn't come to me because they had a relationship issue. She came to me to help her reprogram her own mind before she loses the man of her dreams.
Sometimes need a little help. Like strong person to accountability.
And another thing too, H, we don't like to emotionally invest in our women. And a lot of us were emotionally traumatized ourselves by past relationships and by our parents. And because we're so emotionally traumatized, we use our money and what we can do for our women to overcompensate for the fact that we don't want to emotionally invest in her. And whenever she wants to connect with us on a deeper emotional level besides sex, we throw up the fact that at least I'm fulfilling my duties. You got the car, you got the house, the kids are taken care of, but we better realize that's not enough because spirit don't care about the house or the car or the job or the money. You understand? But when our women really need to go deep with us, we can't go there because we got some things we got bottled up in here that we don't want to process. And so sometimes she's all the way down here deep. We all the way up here. We scared to go down there because if we go down there, I might got to cry in front of my queen and let her know what I really went through as a child. We don't want to do that. That's the narcissism blocking us from a deeper commitment with our women. I need black men to understand you cannot overcompensate with your finances. Emotional investment means emotional investment. And if you cannot emotionally invest in your woman, sooner or later, you're going to lose her to a man who can. And this is why brothers will lose a drop-dead gorgeous woman to somebody who they might think is a simp. And you looking like, how the fuck did she leave me for this dude? You feel me? He's a regular dude. Like, he ain't got nothing I got. He was able to connect with her on a much deeper level, and you lost her because of that. Because at the end of the day, women need to be fed emotionally. Even the ones who are all into the materialism, that's just a front. They just buying into European capitalism. At the end of the day, women need to be fed emotionally. And the reason why a lot of women try to disconnect from their emotion and carry themselves like men, well, he don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck. You feel me? He fucking bitches, I'm fucking niggas. So what? That ain't really who she is. That is just how she protects her sensitivity. That's how she's protecting her femininity. That's how she's protecting her vulnerability by projecting back onto us what we're projecting onto her. Women want to be loved. They need to be emotionally connected to, and they need their time. And too often in our narcissism, we try to reduce our responsibility to her to dollars and cents.
I agree with Jeff, you better say something.
November 9th. November 9th. Live and unfiltered.
Literally.
Man, for real.
Y'all better let them know where, though. Like, where they need to be, how they get tickets or website.
Man, tickets on the website. They know where to go. ElevatedPodcast.com. The elevated is spelled with an 8. TED. Like, yeah, man.
And it's also, if you go to our Instagram, it's in our bio. And it's the first one. It says live taping event with the date on it. So if you can't find it, go to our Instagram bio, look at our link tree. It's the first one.
Soft girl. Let me say this piece.
Talk to us.
For us to want our women to go back to being soft girl, feminine, we're asking them to take off armor. Psychological armor, emotional armor, financial armor. This armor is what kept her from taking her own life. This armor is what kept her from taking her ex-husband's life. This armor is what helps her keep focused on raising them kids and paying her bills. This armor that we're asking her to take off is what got her to this point. My question to black men, are we ready to absorb the responsibility that's going to be necessary if she take the armor off? Because too often we want it both ways. Take the armor off, be a woman, let me lead. Well, first of all, that's not going to be easy because she's had to run the house for 30 years. She's had to run the house for 10 years. You understand? She's never even seen an example of what a man's supposed to do for a woman. So this ain't going to be easy. And then you get her to that point and you say, you know what? I don't think you're really the one for me. Do you know what you just did to her? Do you know what you just did to this woman? You talk about trauma? She got to where you wanted her to be, and when she got there, you know what you used? Your serial monogamy card. You used your serial monogamy card and said, you know what? I don't think you're the one for me. Put that armor back on. Next thing you know, she's strung out on opioids, strung out on marijuana, strung out on alcohol, and now she's second guessing herself because she said the whole time in that relationship, something don't feel right about him, but I don't know what it is. So I'm gonna step out on faith. I'm gonna trust him. I'm gonna take this armor off. And the minute she take the armor off, you got the nerve to tell her, I don't think you're the one.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there's no price you can put on peace. There's no price you can put on peace. But to my brothers, if you knew you wasn't staying, why you give her 5 babies? If you knew you wasn't staying, why you give her 3 babies?
Yeah.
I can understand there's no price you can put on people, bruh. You want to leave her after 5 babies? I'm sorry. Once a man has given a woman 2 children, he better have a damn good reason why he ain't staying there to raise them with her. Unless she's pushing him away. I'm assuming she's not. I'm assuming she wants him there. But if a man gave a woman 2 babies, especially 3 or more, and you trying to walk,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a serious problem respecting you. What's on your mind, princess? Because you're processing your feelings. Talk to us. And it's okay to cry because it's okay to be vulnerable. Because you have 4 brothers who love you, so you in safe space.
Yeah, for sure. Most
That was
You in
just a
safe
trigger.
space.
That was
Tell the
just-
women what you're feeling because there's women who gonna watch this and they where you at. Talk to us.
Be
Talk
wrong,
to us,
Say what's
man.
on your
Talk to
mind.
us, Jay.
Be
I'm
wrong.
a
to us,
therapist.
Jay.
You know that. I'm a
I know, it
psychologist.
just
So
triggered me. I know.
Be wrong, Jay
no, but
Money.
speak your piece. You ain't got to get specific, but speak it. Speak it.
No, it's just one of them things. But that was a trigger where you completely, like, men, and they don't realize that they do this, but they groom a woman to how they want to be.
Yes.
And then 2 years, 3 years go by, and it's like the woman is just trying to get you to just do everything you need to do. She's literally clearing your plate.
Yes.
You go focus on this. I got
Yes.
X, Y, Z.
Yes.
Only for you to just throw
Drop
that
it.
shit away. That's a trigger, especially
Yes.
for somebody that is very emotionally, physically, spiritually invested into you, and you just throw that shit away. That shit sucks.
And we as men need to understand, women as well, but we as men in particular, because we are the leaders, we need to understand that you can't purchase insurance for failed relationships. You get insurance on your car. If you get into an accident, they replace it. You get insurance on your house. Storm damage, they replace it. You get insurance on your life. You ain't gonna get the life back, but your family gonna be set for the rest of your life. When a woman takes that armor off to give us a chance to lead her and become her raw essence, and we hurt that, we misuse that, we exploit that, we sabotage that, we disappoint that, there's no insurance she can buy that will reset her back with her armor on. She got to build that armor back up. Do you know how hard that is when she dealing with her own family problems? She dealing with her own baby daddy problems. She dealing with her own traumas from childhood. She working 2 or 3 jobs.
Yeah.
She trying to keep the bills paid. And on top of that, we got to keep in mind that black women exist within a context, unlike Asian women, unlike Caucasians, unlike Arabs, East Indians, Latinos, and Jews, where she don't really have a strong female support network. Black women are more likely to not be surrounded by a genuine sisterhood whose shoulders they can cry on. So when our sisters go through relationship trauma, setback, and disappointment, they often go through that by themselves.
I've enjoyed the perspective and the raw emotion from Jay, and then the perspective of, like, for real, I consider myself really, like, emotionally mature. You feel me? And the perspective to me is new to where we're asking them to take that armor off, and I consider myself a warrior too. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm a protector by
sir.
nature. Like, and taking that armor off as a man, when you ask them to, and when you realize that at that point, you have to. It's mandatory that you stand in that gap.
Yes.
You feel me?
Yes.
And it is no compromise
Yes.
once you chose to stand in that gap.
Yes.
So I've enjoyed that. I can't wait to take that to the night.
It's gonna
I
be
ain't gonna
good.
lie.
Thing too,
I ain't gonna lie. That's,
brothers,
yeah.
is a lot of us as men are so emotionally traumatized ourselves from baby mama trauma ex-wife trauma.
Sorry, sis.
From
We love you.
sex abuse,
Love you, Jay.
emotional abuse,
We beat that
maternal
nigga up.
abandonment, paternal abandonment, sibling bullying, peer bullying. Black men are in a mental health crisis. But guess what? We still trying to date. How in the hell are you asking a woman to take off her armor and be vulnerable to you and allow you to lead when you know you got issues you ain't worked through yet? She don't even know about the alcoholic you are, but you want her to take the armor off. And this is where our disingenuousness sets them up to be hurt. Why are you prepping her for the kingdom when you ain't ready to wear the crown? When you going to deal with your alcoholism? Why don't you deal with that first? When you going to deal with your opioid addiction? Why don't you deal with that first? When you going to deal with your sex assault from childhood? Deal with that first. When you going to deal with your maternal abandonment by your mother? Because the last thing she needs is you putting your hands on her once she says something that trigger a painful memory from the mom who abandoned you. A lot of black men are walking mental health wards. We're walking mental health wards. Yes, the women are traumatized, but so are we. We need to be in a healthy space to lead our women. Trauma can't lead trauma. It'll only make it worse. Trauma cannot lead trauma. It can only make it worse. And I don't see black men knocking down the door for therapy. I don't see black men knocking down the door for life coaching. And don't get me wrong, I do get more brothers who come to me for life coaching now than I did a year ago. So brothers are making headway. They are. But it's still a lot more who need to, who don't. And do you know what I find? I'm going to go to the conscious community right now. All of us in the conscious community, from our militias to our Marcus Garveyites to the whole nine. I'm seeing traumatized brothers try to distract themselves from their trauma through consciousness. I don't give a damn how much of a Pan-Africanist you are. That ain't going to eliminate that problem right there. I don't care how much of a Hebrew, a Moor, Nuwapian, Gun Club, Guys in Earth, Nation of Islam, none of that is going to block the fact that you got psychosocial spiritual issues from childhood or later that you've never addressed. Black men need to really handle our mental health issues before we start stepping to these queens talking about we want to build a kingdom.
I think being in a conscious community,
Speaking.
like that information, I feel like the type of information that you receive in the conscious community, like it gives them, I'm gonna say us, like, cause when I first started reading too, it give you a sense of superiority.
It does.
Like
it does.
I know a lot of shit
superiority
that you don't know.
Intellectual superiority.
And I get it to a sense, but we take that shit and it carries over, like you said, to where it's like I'm taking this superialism, like damn near complex, and like because I feel like I'm that in this area, like I'm using it to mask all this other shit. Like I'm this, you know. So I get
it's
it.
another distraction. It's no difference than somebody going to the church and getting Christ out, trying to suffocate the trauma of childhood. And for a while, there's a honeymoon period. It worked for a good year. Then after that, them traumas come right back.
Yep.
Only a spiritual solution can solve a spiritual problem. Doctrine don't do that. Religious dogma don't do that. Consciousness don't do that. You need a spiritual solution for a spiritual problem. And a lot of black men don't like to go within themselves to process their experiences. And that's why we don't like to connect with our women on an emotional level. I tell women all the time, if the man is not going to let you love him the way you want to, and if he ain't going to love you the way you need him to, you will be spiritually famished and starved in that relationship. And for the materialistic sisters, right? They need to be more honest when they date men too, because in the beginning with the corner girls, they lead with the materialism, right? What you can do for me, but it's still a woman in there. And so sometimes the man is seduced into thinking all I got to do is provide for you and you good. But there's a woman in it. So sooner or later, she's going to want the same things any woman want because they have to get their strength from us. We get our vulnerability from them. They get their strength from us. Spiritual strength comes from the king, But if you spiritually afraid, if you spiritually abused, if you spiritually traumatized, how are you going to be the rock for her? Yes, we got to be the rock for her physically. We got to defend her physically, but you got to be the rock for her spiritually. And a lot of men are spiritual cowards. They don't want to talk about emotion. They don't want to talk about past love. They don't want to talk about failed issues in the family of origin. We got to be spiritual rocks, not just physical rocks.
And then as women, we have to, and I'm glad he spoke on that. A lot of women don't create that safe space for men to be vulnerable and be able to express those emotions without throwing it back in their face, or an argument come up, you throw it in their face. Like, we can't do shit like it. Like, you have to be able to listen just like y'all want them to listen to y'all.
Yes,
I don't know which camera I'm gonna look at, probably this one.
Yes.
Y'all have to be open and honest with yourselves for them to be open and honest with you, period.
That's a good point. And the other thing you said, one of the best ways to destroy the trust in a relationship, two of the quickest ways to destroy the trust in a relationship is, number one, to throw something somebody said at a point where they were being completely honest. He came completely clean. She came completely clean. And you threw that shit back in their face. Quickest way to lose trust. The second quickest way is to divulge anything y'all discussed when y'all were connecting on a deeply intimate level, to expose those insecurities outside of that relationship by telling your friends and family. That shit will destroy a relationship.
Facts.
Me personally, that is a non-negotiable in my relationship. If my woman ever discusses anything personal about me or between us with a friend, mom, dad, I don't give a damn who it is, especially being Dr. Umar, we're done. If I can't trust you to keep your mouth shut, there's no relationship here. And that's where a lot of men and a lot of women lose out.
Man.
This was a great episode.
Nah, facts, man.
And that's why I've dedicated the rest of my life to building and healing. I want to build schools everywhere, right? Thank God we got to this point, because I never thought we would, to be almost done. And I want to heal our people, right? So I'm asking everybody out there, y'all included, if you know of spaces in your state that you think would make a good retreat space, out in the woods, cabin, by some water, trees, right? I want it natural. Even in the wintertime, we could put the tents, or it could be cabin or a big house. I want to take different populations of our people on retreats for the weekend or week to process that particular issue. Grief. You lost somebody you love to death unexpectedly. That hurt still with you. I want to process. You was you was an adoptive kid. You never knew your parents. Let's process that. You mixed race African. You never quite felt black enough, and you know you're not white enough. Let's process that. You're a woman who's been sexually abused before. You never talked about it to nobody, right? Let's process that. You're a black man who's been sexually abused. Let's process that. I want to do a whole bunch of healing retreats. I just want to do them on a regular, because a lot of our people, the more I do this work, I'm seeing so many souls that have never been healed, elders included. You feel me? And so I'm like, Dr. Umar, you got to do something about this. The consciousness is good. The Pan-Africanism is good. But how are we going to go to war with white supremacy when our soldiers ain't even mentally healthy? So anybody know of spaces that they think would be ideal for something like that, just send it to me. I don't care if it's white owned or black owned, because we don't own enough black shit. So it could be white owned or black owned, but I want to start scheduling.
Where you want them to send it to, Doc?
Text me 215-989-9858. Again, 215-989-9858 is my cell. You can email Dr. Umar Johnson at Yahoo, DRUMAR Johnson at yahoo.com. I will be switching the email over at some point, because I told y'all to stop calling me Johnson. It's Ifad Tunde, Dr. Umar Ifad Tunde. Also, make sure you donate to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Remember, you cannot come to the school and participate in any event if you are not a donor. Hit your Cash App, $FDMG School. Hit your PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. Mail your check or money order payable to FDMG Academy, P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. Parents out there, you having issues with your children, you need a consultation. Brothers and sisters out there, you need some life coaching, hit me up the same way. Please text me or email me. Don't call me. The voicemail is always full. Okay. And yes, when you hear Jermaine Shoemake on the answer machine, that's the same person. That's my birth name. You feel me? I take care of mama, so I use Jermaine Shoemake for my mama's purposes. But reach it. The inboxes, I don't really get to them because it's thousands. I get thousands of inboxes. So please send a text or email, or you can also WhatsApp me for my international Africans. +1 215 989 9858. United we stand, divided we fall.
Period.
Hello.
You missed any of that? Run that shit back.
Rewind it.
Run that bike. No, we appreciate you rocking with us, Doc.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great
I think we
conversation.
definitely went over a little bit, but we're going to wrap it up, man.
Always a pleasure.
This has been
sure.
amazing.
And I'm not
for
bending
real.
over nobody queens.
Yeah, I hope not. Just massage.
I'm just going to massage.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But I am going to massage them Cinnabons real deeply. I'm joking. I'm kidding. Black queens forever. Snow bunnies never.